Welcome to day one of our course on building online learning communities. To set the stage for what we're going to be working on this week and what we're going to be talking about this week, we wanted to first run through the model on elements of community building that you find in our book. This is a model that has evolved over time. When we first looked at it way back when we first wrote the first edition of this book, we used probably a much simpler approach, but as it has evolved and the concepts have become a little more complex, we determined that we were looking at more of a systems model where there are elements within the community that create that system, and then that system creates some outcomes that then reinforce the nature of community.
Yeah, and I'm actually beginning to think, Rena, as I look at this model, that those three circles inside the community circle maybe should be more like of a Venn diagram, or they should be intertwined instead of being separated like they are. So I may change that eventually, because those things are so tied together or interactive between each piece of each circle that I don't see how you can really separate them.
I agree, and to some degree, what's sort of the sweet spot when you intersect those three, the people, purpose, and process, is community. So, whether it's on the outside or whether it is the intersection of those three circles as part of a Venn diagram, as you described it, it really is the connection between the people, meaning the interaction and presence and all of that, the purpose of why we're here and what we're here to work on together, and the whole process of learning. And that then creates those outcomes of co-created knowledge and meaning, and the ability to reflect the transformation as a learner, increased self-direction, and reinforcement of what it means to be an online learner, or that sense of presence.
Yeah, and presence itself is a very complex issue that a lot of times actually we've been dealing with it a lot lately. It's something that's become more complicated over time, and there's been more emphasis put on it, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. Okay, you want to go to the second slide? Go ahead.
So what we're going to be doing throughout each of the days of this week is talking about some techniques that we use that help to develop and sustain community in the online environment. And so Keith just mentioned we're going to be focusing more on the issue of social presence, and we're going to start right off focusing on the issue of social presence. One of the things that we almost always do, whether students have been working together in previous classes or know each other face-to-face or whatever, is that we have them post bios and introductions at the start of a course. And what's been interesting for us over the years is the number of comments that we get from students saying, well, I've been working with you, Jane, in every class I've taken, and I never knew that about you. Because students tend to open up more and more and more with each class that they take and reveal more information about themselves as they become more comfortable with each other. So in cohort-based programs or in classes where students see each other often, that posting of bios and introductions is a way to initiate community, but it also helps to sustain it.
Yeah, and I think the key factor when we start talking about presence, Rena, is the fact that you need to be who you are. You need to be yourself. You need to be honest. It's a way, or it's a methodology, or whatever you want to call it, a way to express your real self in this virtual environment. So that's a critical piece of this, because as soon as you start being someone that you're not, students actually probably will catch on to it. So I think being yourself and being real honest about who you are is a key piece of this.
I agree. And the other thing that we like to do that is also supported, that also supports the development of community, is use icebreaker activities at the beginning of a course. They're fun. They help to get students to know one another. You can also reintroduce an icebreaker at some point as the course progresses. If you see discussion starting to wane, or if people are sort of getting tired in the middle of a long semester, if it's a semester-long course, it's something that just breaks things up, and they can be related to the course content.
Exactly.
And we spend the first week of our course working on these activities, and we delay real heavy-duty engagement with course content until we have completed this focus on building an online learning community.
Unless it's a very short course and you don't have time to do that, and then you have to figure out a way to weave the content into these fun activities that we have here.